Alrighty, morning time, but this clip will be added to the day or the night before, the day before. Yeah, because we got scammed. So yesterday I had like clips and all that junk too, but this is kind of pointless posting anything like that. But to put it short, we did not follow our own advice, and we eventually got scammed. And it was clever, but at the same time, we saw signs, early signs, and throughout as well, but just never clicked until afterwards. So I guess I'm gonna try to find those links on like how we found it or how we found out and stuff like that. So
you just go on Google.
Yes, Bangkok scams or something like that. I'll try to dig it up. But what else? Yeah, pretty much. I guess this video is more informative, I guess, than anything, or it's gonna be informative. Yeah, so you don't get suckered. But it's okay. So basically, I don't know if you want, or if the link is already there, read it and then watch this. But basically, we went to, I'm sure you've seen clips of Chinatown. We walked through Chinatown, and there's this big kind of, sort of like a statue or like an entrance kind of.
It's the Chinatown Gate.
What's that?
Chinatown Gate.
Oh, a voice. Chinatown Gate. A random voice. But so it's the Chinatown Gate, and so we're walking by there, thinking about walking back to the hotel, and then apparently there's this guy that was there, and he saw us, and then we were just there taking pictures with foreigners as well, and then he comes and then he offers like suggestions. Oh, hey, this and that. I wasn't really there, like I wasn't really paying attention because he wasn't really talking to me directly, but he's telling the guys on like places to go, recommendations and all that stuff. So we had a map, and then I remember he's like, oh, you have to go here, you have to go there, you have to go here. Like, so he's basically marking like the locations down for us. I guess looking back now, it's kind of suspicious. Like you might say like, well, yeah, you guys should have seen it, but at the time it's like, okay, a friendly guy, he's helping us out. He's telling us about a classic one. The very first one was, you have to go to this so and so temple because it closes in 1 hour. And then I guess for us it's like, oh, okay, we'll end up going. But then thinking back now, it's like, I remember my cousin telling me a scam that's similar, but I guess I should get into that a little later. But so looking back, yes, like an hour exactly, how convenient. But he told us about the temple, and then after he told us what was it? He told us about like a tuxedo place, a suit place that we should check out, because I guess like they fish for like information, like, oh, you're a student and whatnot. And then after, it was a night market. So it's like 3 places, or not night market, some kind of, it's like some public market, some seafood market, whatever. So we decided to go with that. Like, oh, cool, we have nothing else to do right now, we have time. Temple closes in 1 hour, so he flags like a tuk-tuk driver, and who apparently is also in on this. So he brings us around, and it was super cheap. It was like 50 baht, and basically the guy followed us the entire night, or most of the night. So again, that's like another red flag, because I remember mentioning about, like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But at the time there was suspicion already, but it's just, I guess none of us really said anything or said enough to back out. But tuk-tuk driver drove us around, drove us to the first place, which was the temple, where we came upon a gentleman that claims to be waiting for his wife, who's a guide in the temple, and the temple closed. We missed it probably by a minute. I don't know. So it was closed, and then he starts talking to us, sort of feeding us, I guess, bullshit, saying that he was a government official, showed us his card, all that stuff, you know, and just telling us about like oh, how he's been to Canada and stuff like that. I guess in a way to like kind of connect with you, connect with the people. At the time, we're just saying, oh, okay, this again, a nice guy, but it's all a part of the scam. It's like a guy comes up to you, they all have pretty decent English. Like thinking back, like every one of them had pretty good English. So he's just telling us about like, oh yeah, you know, you guys are students and stuff like that. I guess they realized, oh yeah, you need the suits. So that's what basically he did. And she's telling about a place where not many locals go to, or no, not many foreigners go to, but a lot of locals. And he just basically started telling us about how cheap the suits are. You know, like, oh, you can get designer back home for so much more expensive, so we'll get it here because here's it's a fraction of the price and all that. So he's telling us like, oh yeah, government officials go there. Oh, so and so, like students, uniforms, they all get it there, and just, I guess, kind of just building it up for us. And so yeah, after that, Tuck the driver's still there waiting for us. He comes back, picks us up, and brings us to this the Tuck place. What's the place called again? Something. Oh, Royal Asia Boutique. So don't go there. If you can, avoid it. So he brought us there, greeted by the people, and they started telling us about, like, you know, the suits and stuff like that. And if you have any reservations, they'll try to overcome it. They'll tell you about like the fabric. They'll say it's of high quality. You can get Hugo Boss. You can get all that shit. You can get Armani. You can get the style. They'll get it for you. And like whatever. Like they do a good job. Like the guy definitely knows what he's talking about. Like he's pretty convincing too. I don't know. For me, I was kind of iffy on getting the whole suit and stuff like that. I wasn't sure, so it was kind of disappointing. Thinking back now, like, oh fuck, I could have avoided all that. But again, that's hindsight. At the time, it was. I mean, there was some suspicion. I mean, if you can get, if someone guarantees you 4 suits being tailored in 12 hours, looking back, it's just like, oh man, you guys are fucking idiots to think that would be done. And we joked about it too. I brought it up, right? And then unknown Mr. Alvin, he basically said, oh, you know, like, oh, it could be like sweatshops and whatnot. Okay, so like, all right, but we end up getting it, and pretty much once we left, another suspicion or suspicious activity that happened was like the driver would ask us, oh, how much did you pay for the suit? How much? And we tell him, oh yeah, 12,000, blah, blah, blah. He insisted we write it down. So like, oh, 12,000, 8,000 baht, and then, but yeah, he insisted we write it down. And then after we wrote it down, he walks in, or he scurries into the suit place, Royal Asia. So again, looking back, that was probably him like getting his cut, because that happens quite a bit. Like a lot of the guys, even the very first guy that we met, he'd ask us like, oh, how much you get it for and stuff like that. Like they're just curious, but in actuality they actually want to know like how much they're getting out of it. So after that, we end up going to eat at the seafood place, which I guess was more expensive. It was a ripoff. It was like eating. It was almost like eating seafood back home,
Yeah.
pricing wise. And I guess now thinking back, they overcharged us as well,
Yeah.
which I wasn't aware of at all
Yeah.
until now. Again, being dumb, not realizing that situation right away, but that's pretty much how it is, I guess. So after that, whatever, some shit happened, right? But that's basically the extent of the scam. So that's what they do. It's all in succession, and it's all meant, yeah, to basically sucker you in. And I remember,
Guard down and then sucker you.
yes, bring your guard down and then sucker you in. And I guess the part that bugs me the most is like when you have that suspicion, the initial like suspicion, like, oh, something sounds way too good, it doesn't sound right. And the fact that I had my cousin tell me, because she actually went to Thailand, not in Bangkok though, went to Thailand like a month, or not even a month or so, maybe I guess I don't know, timeline wise I'm not sure, but she went to Thailand like almost just before we left for the Philippines and whatnot. And I remember her telling me like, oh yeah, warning me, oh there are scams out there about like people mentioning like, oh, temples closing within hours, and it takes like, say like a temple closes in like 2 hours, and it takes like 3 hours to get there, whatever. You have to get there ASAP or some shit like that. And mentioning how they get suckered into going to these jewelry places. I guess for women it's different. They feed you the same story about kind of like the temple thing is the same, but I guess for women they don't need suits. They go for the jewelry, so they bring them to the jewelry, and then I remember her telling me like, oh, the people were angry when or disappointed too, angry / disappointed when they didn't come out buying anything, because again, they don't get the cut. So in our case, since we're all dudes, they brought us to one of the stoop places instead. Temple thing, the story runs fairly similar. Temple apparently only opens once a year on that same day. I mean, at the time, you know, you don't know. Sure, it sounds about right, but now, just after reading about it and whatnot, sucks. Definitely sucks. And I guess we could just chalk it up as learning experience. I don't really want this suit anymore. Wasn't really feeling it to begin with, but that's something different. It's another story, I guess, on why. But I don't know, Mr. Unknown. Would you like to add? No. So, yeah. Really? That is the moral of the story, man. I guess you just do your research. I know I've said this before. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Male and female. Whatever, lady boys. Katuis. Yeah, so really read up. I think that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna check out every place that we go to. Just to, I guess, for precaution and whatnot, but that's what it is. I don't know about the suit business, but get that sorted somehow. Yes. Bye.